So today's class is going to be labeled Israelite Sex Ed. Israelite Sex Ed. Now y'all ain't never heard nothing like that before. Israelite Sex Ed. Y'all know what sex ed? You know Esau called sexual education. Yeah. Sexual education, but then they teach you how to be a whore. Right. Ain't no education in that. All right, quiet down. Start Deuteronomy 32:7. Deuteronomy 32:7. So I got to give a little brief history. We got middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even a lot of us in school. We went through classes, sexual education. But what we went through back then is a lot different on what our kids will be going through very soon. Back then, hell, you know, we saw animations. Today, they actually showing pornography. Sexual education. Oh, goodness. Teaching kids how to please themselves. Teaching women that sex is okay. You have a choice. Unmarried sex is okay. You have a choice. It's your body. To whom and whoever you want to do it, you can do it to. And you can do it with. Yeah. Give me Deuteronomy 32:7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7.
Is that speaker on right there? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Awesome.
Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Mm-hmm. Remember the days of old.
Do what?
Remember the days of old.
It's the reason why the Lord put remember in the book of the law. Remember the days of old. Go ahead, read on. Read it from the top. Okay.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Mm-hmm. Remember the days of old. Mm-hmm. Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. We are not the first generation to walk on the face of the earth. We are not the first generations to actually go through trials, tribulations, judgments. So it's a reason. We got to look back and remember, why was our forefathers judged? Why was our forefathers and foremothers put into slavery? Why? God says, remember that thing. Read on.
Consider the years of many generations.
Come on.
Ask thy father.
Do what?
Ask thy father.
We are your fathers up here. Ask thy father. Ask those who can go into the book and tell you, okay, this is why this happened. This is why we're going through the things we're going through today. Read on.
And he ask thy father, and he will shew thee.
Read on.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
They will tell you. Read on.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam,
read.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So mind you, Moses is going into the history. He's telling you to remember. Remember that the Lord divided the nations, but he set you above them all. Read on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Watch this.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
God said we belong to him. He says, remember, the Lord did this. Why? Because y'all belong to the Lord. We belong to the Lord. Read on.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
So we can't take that lightly. A lot of times we say we Israelites, but then we don't understand what Moses is saying when he says, remember the days of old. Why should we remember? Because the Lord divided you from the beginning. He chose you to be his from the beginning. Give me Amos 3:1. Remember the days of old. Remember. You know what Lion King say?
Yeah. Remember
who you are. You are my son. The one true king. Amos 3:1.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Come on.
Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
O children of Israel, which we are the Lord's portion. Read.
against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Saying,
Read.
you only
Again, he said, remember, you only, read.
have I known of all the families of the earth.
The Most High said he only knows the 12 tribes of Israel. You are greater than anybody else on the earth. You are not the same. You are not equal. You are not beneath. God says y'all belong to me. We don't.
Therefore,
And because we belong to the Lord, because we are his portion, read.
I will punish you.
What will the Lord do?
I will punish you.
We're going to get into some of the punishments that the Lord put upon his people and his people solely. Read.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Give me Jeremiah 9:24. Jeremiah 9 and verse 24. So God says, when you don't listen to me, you're going to get punished. Above all nations, you're going to be punished. I'm going to punish you worse than anybody else. Why? Because you're my people. You are my portion. I divided you from all the other nations. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9 and verse 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this,
Read.
that he that understandeth and knoweth me,
Knoweth me, knoweth the Lord.
that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness.
So the Lord said, yeah, I exercise kindness, I exercise mercy, I exercise love. Read on.
Judgment.
What?
Judgment.
But the Lord also exercised judgment. I mean, the Lord will put you to death.
I like his. That's my favorite scripture.
I know that's why I put it.
Because there's a lot of times we forget that side of God. We know that he is the one that exercises loving kindness, but we forget that he exercises judgment at the same time. So therefore, when we forget that part of God in our mind, we get fully set to do sin. And a lot of times, because I was y'all age, y'all youngsters in this room, I was in middle school before. You think that you got a whole bunch of time to sin. Right. I can get it in, I can do whatever, I ain't old yet. But that's the furthest thing from what these scriptures say. And I know a lot of y'all don't pay attention to the news nowadays because you're off doing something else. But a lot of these people getting put to death are young kids. Right. They in their middle school, high school, right out of high school years, where they, in their mind, it's a thing in psychology where they say it's whatever it is. It's something the mind just don't understand death until a certain age or something, where you're more prone to take chances with your life until the light turns on at a certain age, something like that. I can't be killed out here in these streets. So when you're young, you do wild things. And one of those things is what we're going in today, the Israelite sex ed class, where you do crazy stuff. And not knowing the Lord, depending on the grace he got for you in your little grace tank, if it runs out or you hit that point, judgment. So pay attention to this class. I don't want y'all to end up in a clinic when the doctor got to tell you, all right, pull down your pants, turn around, bend over, and cough. It's over. And then put the little alcohol wipe on your butt. I pray y'all don't have to go in there. Go ahead.
Hey, that's the truth. That stuff happens. And we gonna go over that. That's that judgment. Read on the rest of that scripture, officer. Read it from the top again.
Hold
Yes,
on.
sir.
And the thing is, this is what happens with us as a people when we get our mind fully set to do evil, not understanding the judgment of the Lord. When the Lord, the Most High, finally got tired of us in our own land, he didn't just say it one time, it's like, okay, go past the judgment. He did it by little and little and little until that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm done. Take him out of here. That's the same thing what he does with us as a people. He passes judgment little by little by little on us, hoping that the thought come in your mind, let me repent. That's God's judgment right there. But a lot of times we blinded, we don't see it.
Read on. Officer, read it from the top.
Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness.
Read on, watch this.
In the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
You gotta read that slow. In these things, what?
I delight.
God says he loves these things. He loves mercy, but he loves judgment. He loves righteousness. That means when you mess up and he puts you to death, he says he rejoices in that thing. This is why. Give me Ecclesiastes 11 and 9. You're going to learn. Ecclesiastes 11 and 9. The Lord kills children. I don't know if y'all know that. The Lord kills children. Wholesale. We the sand of the sea. The Lord can kill millions of us and we'll still be plentiful. Don't play. Ecclesiastes 11 and 9.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 and verse 9.
This is what Cap was saying. Read.
Rejoice, O young man.
O young man, young woman.
In thy youth.
Rejoice, be happy. Do what you want to do. Read.
And let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth.
Read on.
And walk in the ways of thine heart.
Walk in the ways that you seem is good. Walk in ways that you think, oh, I want to go out and party. I want to deal with different women.
What's the? I think it's a word called facetious.
Facetious.
Yeah, I can't even say.
I think that's it. I don't know.
Or basically, what God is doing right now, if you ain't caught up on, he's being sarcastic. Because he's going to explain it.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Read on. So basically, it's okay. You want to do what you want to do? Go ahead. Go do it. Go have all the fun you want. Read on.
Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth.
Let your heart cheer you. Don't be tied down to these laws. Go do what you want to do. Read.
And walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes.
Here it is.
But know thou.
But you better know. That's how you know the Most High is black. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, you gonna do that? Go ahead. But you better know, if you do that, you got a butt whooping waiting on you. Go ahead though. Hey, do your thing. Wife, go get my belt, please. Go get my belt. Yeah, go ahead. Get that thing ready. But now know, go ahead. But know thou, go ahead.
But know thou that for all these things
that you want to do contrary to me,
God will bring thee into judgment.
the Lord gonna put you to death. Say, go do it. Go. What did it say? Go let thy heart chill thee in the days of thy youth. Meaning when you're young. You want to be youthful, you want to, you want to explore, experiment. Go on. Okay, go ahead. You want to get high? You want to smoke dope? You want to get with all the women in the school? You want to be the whore of the school? Can I say that?
That's what the Bible.
Yeah, that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
You want to be the whore of the school?
Yeah, what they say, that little girl right there is hot.
Yeah, she's hot.
She hot.
She's hot. And you know what's crazy? That's the scariest thing for me right there. My daughter to be the whore of the block.
Testimony time. Go ahead.
That's the most scariest thing. Oh!
Hey, all right, yeah, it's testimony time. Okay. So I know y'all see Captain Zakar. Oh, he be smiling all the time till you get on his bad side. I used to have I was wicked like everybody else. But my thought was, I was like, man, this is wicked as hell. Please, Lord, don't let me have a daughter. Because the thought in my mind was, what if she is like all of them? I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I was getting mad, right? I'm 24 in college, just mad for no reason. Just like, oh, I'm gonna whoop her ass. And she didn't go to earth. I'm gonna whoop her. Bet not. That is every man's fear. His daughter? His dog. Go ahead.
Because we know how dirty. Oh,
The men would do.
oh goodness. We know how dirty men can be to women. We know. We in the world, you hit them and you go. Pass them on. You talk about it when you get to with your boys. Now they hitting her up.
Yep.
Oh goodness gracious. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. Therefore remove sorrow.
That brother was back there crying. Go ahead.
Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart. And put away evil from thy flesh.
You know, hold on, that part where it says, therefore remove sorrow from thy heart. 9 and 10 together, you say, okay, you can have all that fun up there in your head, but if the light turned on like, okay, God is being sarcastic, I really can't do that stuff that he's saying, because he'll bring it into judgment. Then he says, remove sorrow from thy heart. Because in your mind, as you being young, you be like, dang, I can't have no fun. Shoot, I don't want to keep these laws. God, I don't want to do this stuff. He said, you better remove that sorrow from your heart. You better get it up out your mind. Get your mind right. Go ahead.
And a lot of times, the reason why a lot of us was rebellious is because we know we weren't supposed to do it. Mama said, don't do this. Hey, I'm going to try this right here. Bro, you down, bro? Mama said, come in at 8. I'm going to stay at 11 o'clock. Mama said, don't sneak nobody over. It's that thrill. It's that thrill, like, oh. You ready?
Done.
Tell you, man, I once I judge you. Read on.
And put away evil from thy flesh.
Put away the evil. Read.
For childhood
and
youth are vanity.
Those thoughts will get you killed. They mean nothing. Those thoughts will get you killed. Because when you start thinking like that, you veer off from the path of righteousness. And now you come home 13 years old, you're pregnant. 14 years old, Mama, I got my girlfriend pregnant. Y'all know that feeling.
Go to the doctor,
Mama, I gotta go to the doctor. I'm itching. Mama, I gotta go to the doctor. I'm peeing in this yellow orange stuff coming out. Oh, we gonna go for that stuff today.
Why your boxes stink?
Right. What's going on? You been itching all of a sudden. You all right? Okay. Psalms 37:28. You know the scripture Cap always bring out, surely your sin shall find you out. Surely. So, this is a precaution. This is very needed. Psalms 37:28, sorry.
The book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 28. For the Lord loveth judgment.
There you go again. The Lord loves judgment. Will judge you. He will judge you. 37:28 Psalms. He will judge you. It will happen. You may get, you know what? You may get by with one. Hell, you might get by with 3. Well, that 4th one, it could be it. That burn, that itch, that sickness.
And you know what? And I'm pretty sure you're going to pull it out. What some people would do, young and unmarried, what they would do is they would put their faith more in Esau than they will God, knowing I'm going to take my chance because I know they got a shot for this. They got a peel for this. That's what a lot of our people do nowadays.
But not knowing that all that stuff have side effects. All that stuff got side effects. They might got a pill or a shot to cure what it is, but it's gonna cause something else to happen. Yeah, you may never be able to have kids. You may always have acne on your face, something. It always causes something. You finished that, Judah?
No, sir.
Read on.
For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints.
Read. Is that it?
No, sir.
Read.
They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked
Shall
be cut off.
God says, if you're doing righteous, He gonna preserve you. He gonna protect you. He gonna make sure ain't no sickness come upon you. He gonna make sure that you are safe. But the seed of the wicked will be cut off. And you are going to die. Hell, you may live to be 120. But you still gonna die. I mean, when Christ come back, ain't no redemption for you. Second death. You ain't getting the kingdom. Jeremiah 5 and 3. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 3.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse 3.
You know, some people may say, "Oh, y'all scaring them." Because I looked at video last night. I was up late last night, watching videos. And the number one thing that I saw was Esau telling their kids that they can do whatever they want to do. Sex is a choice. It's your choice to have sex with whoever you want to have sex, as long as you do it protective. Just protect yourself. Ain't no protection with God. Ain't no protection. That's the lie. Ain't no protection. And we gonna get into that too. Jeremiah 5 and 3.
Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 3.
Come on.
O Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved.
God says he's stricken us, but we ain't grieving. I mean, he's doing all these things. He's punishing us. We have yet to realize that we are in error. We have yet to say, Lord, forgive me, I'm sorry. We have yet to do that. Read on.
Thou hast consumed them.
God has what?
Consumed them.
Read.
But they have refused to receive correction.
We have refused correction. Refused it. That's why, I think the speaker just went out. We're going to get into it. How blacks, Hispanics, and Native, and there's no coincidence, is so crazy. On the charts, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians lead the nation in STDs. And it's amazing. It's amazing how God's people lead the nation in a particular wickedness, evilness.
That's how you know we the Israelites.
That's how you know.
In Amos 3, where he said, I only know you, and I'm going to punish you for your sins.
Yep.
Because the scriptures say that Esau is a profane fornicator, a vile person. So they do much evil behind closed doors, unimaginable. But God says, I ain't worried about them. Let them do whatever they want to. You do it, boom, put it right on you.
Yep. Read on.
They have made their faces harder than a rock.
We made our faces harder than rock. Stop it. We don't give a doggone. Read on.
They have refused to return.
We have refused to return. With all the knowledge and the statistics and the diseases and the, oh goodness, it's everywhere. Let me tell you a story. I used to work for a blood company where we would, I was a lab tech. So when the phlebotomist was to, go to schools, high schools, get the blood, bring it back to the lab, we would mix it down, separate the red blood cells, the white blood cells, the platelets, the plasma, da-da-da. Do you know, when we did high schools, 90% of the time, we had to discard at least, when I say discard, because it's hazard, meaning it's something in the blood. We had to discard at least 80% of it. 75% of it from high schools. Every time we did a high school drive, the bins used to be, discard, discard, discard. They don't tell us what was in it, but it's something in the blood that they can't use. Because it's disease. Something's going on.
And they look good and healthy on the outside. Go to the high school, you got nowadays kids in there 6'4", full beards, hair all over their face, and all that, 270 pounds, walking around in his pants and sitting down at his chair with his hands in his pocket all the time because he's scratching.
And that's the scary thing, because you don't know who got it.
They all look young and healthy.
Right. All of them look healthy. They all eating. They all laughing and smiling. You don't know who got it, and that's the scary thing. That's why the Lord say, don't do that. Don't do that. That's in that scripture, officer?
Yes, sir.
You're going to read the verse 4. You finished
Yes.
verse 4?
No, sir.
All right, read verse 4.
Therefore I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish.
What did I say?
They are foolish.
God says, I correct you and you won't even receive correction. God says, you foolish. Y'all are foolish people. And that's exactly how the other nations look at us too. We lead the nation in everything bad. Think about that. We lead the nations in everything bad. God says we foolish. We refuse to receive correction.
And that's crazy that you say that, officer, because we'll see the brothers in the hood sell drugs and get locked up. And you always hear drug dealers say, hey, bro, this is not the way to go.
Right.
There's 3 places where you could end up.
Right.
Right? Look, 2 places. You ought to end up in jail or dead. And what we do, we go right behind them and do the same thing.
Right back doing it. That's crazy, man. God says you don't even, I correct you, you don't even care. You don't even grieve. That's it on verse 4?
No, sir.
Read on.
For they know not the way of the Lord.
They know what?
They know not the way of the Lord.
That's why. But here, y'all, we're going to teach y'all the way. So that y'all can teach other people the way. And we got to eventually break this cycle. We got to eventually break this cycle. And it's going to be broken. With you or without you.
That's right.
It's going to be broken. So why not be a part of the team? Hell, if somebody said, hey, if you go run a mile in 10 minutes, I will give you $1 million. Boom.
And it's
You know how quickly, hell, my wife pregnant, she'll go run a mile right now. In 5 minutes.
Bring it out.
Right, but that's what God says. I'm going to give y'all the kingdom.
And it's fixed too.
And it's a fixed fight.
It's a fixed fight.
The Most High said, I'm going to give you the kingdom. Just do what I tell you to do. Just endure. You will get the kingdom. You will make it. It's 100% fact you will make it if you do what he tell you to do. Oh, go ahead. Read it again.
Therefore I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish. For they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their...
Nor the what?
Nor the judgment of their God.
We don't understand when the Lord is judging us. We think we just came across a bad brother. Oh, he burnt me. But it's okay. The Lord got me. You know, people say all the time, the Lord got me though. The Lord got me. He got you all right. He the one that burnt you. He the one that caused you to get the dog on STD. Because you want to be a whore. You want to be a whoremonger. And you know Jesse Lee Peterson. You know he got another video, Slut Walk, right? Yeah. Oh, hey, y'all need to go watch Jesse Lee Peterson. She say he asked the lady. He say, what is a slut? And they don't know what the heck a slut is. Yeah, we gotta put you up. And Jesse Lee Peterson said, yeah, you're a slut. Why? Because you sleep with a lot of men. You're a slut. So they say, so what about the men? He say, they're slut makers. He said, yeah, the men are slut makers. Whoremongers? Bible said. All right, so here's my question. Should a young man or young girl be interested in sex? Who will answer that? Can I ask the young man? Yeah. Is that cool? Mordecai. Answer that. Should a young man or young girl be interested in sex?
Short answer, no.
Why not?
Only because with that sex comes a lot of responsibilities that most children aren't going to be able to maintain.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Not most. No young children will be able to maintain that. You know how to take care of a baby? I'm still learning. Most of y'all can't even... Can I say this? Most of y'all can't even wipe your own butt right. Most of y'all still got Duke in your drawers. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know who y'all are.
Oh, we need to ask your mother. She'll put y'all right
Y'all
now.
know who y'all are. Not just men.
Right.
The little girls too. A lot of girls not take care of themselves yet. don't even know what to do. So, go ahead, officer.
Because my father used to come to the house, and for some reason, he'll always go check the bathroom. He'll go to the bathroom and start snapping on my sisters. Why? Because the things used to be wide open, and you could see all the blood on it.
They don't know how to take care of themselves. So how? That's the thing. You're not mature enough. You're not old enough. You don't have no sense of self to even be able to take care of yourself. How in the world you think you're going to take care of something else that's growing inside of you? It's impossible. That's why a lot of times, and I grew up like this, where my cousins called my grandma mama. I know a lot of y'all grew up like that. When you call your grandma mama, why? Because your grandma was like a mother, and your mother was like a sister, like a friend. Called their mama named Bernie. They don't call her mama, they call her Bernie.
Oh, they got slapped.
Now they call their mama Bernie. Bernie! But then they call her grandma mama. Why? Because Bernie had Hamilton, that was his name, I'm gonna pull out his real name, had Hamilton when she was 17, 16, still living with mama. So now, Bernie in the house pregnant, at the same time mama in the house pregnant. The mama and the daughter pregnant at the same time.
Confusion.
That goes on, y'all. This ain't no joke. That goes on. So, give me 1 Corinthians 6:18. Should a young man or a young girl be interested in sex? For all y'all that just coming in, shalom. 1 Corinthians 6:18. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 18.
Come on.
Flee fornication.
Do what?
Flee fornication.
I want a young brother to explain what is fornication. Who knows? Brother sitting in the front 2 rows. What's up, Captain? What is fornication? Ryan, what is fornication? Excuse me. Can we look up the definition? Whoever back there, please. What is fornication, Ryan? Explain to us what fornication is.
Sleeping with multiple women.
Okay, yep, absolutely. That's fornication. What else? Who else? Mordecai.
Also, sex out of wedlock.
Sex out of wedlock means sex before marriage, right? Give me another one. Anybody else? Anybody else? Ira, what's fornication? Glad you're here. What does fornication mean, Ira? Because I know it's girls that's coming after Ira.
Suave.
I know.
Suave.
I know it is.
You know they out there. That's Suave right there.
I know it's true, bro. What is fornication, Ira?
There's 2 forms of fornication. Physical fornication is sleeping with many women, sleeping before marriage, sleeping with women before marriage. Spiritual fornication is praising other gods.
Ooh, that brother's good. All praises. All praise. I'm glad you know that, Ira. All praises. Let's read that definition, Judah. Officer Judah, please.
Fornication. Sexual intercourse between people not married to each other.
Sexual intercourse between people not married to each other. Read the scripture again.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Read on.
But he that committeth fornication,
he or she that committeth fornication,
sinneth against his own body.
What's I say? You kill yourself. You the reason you're going to be put to death. Can't blame nobody else. God says flee fornication. It is not okay for a young man or a young girl, hell, a single man or a single girl, woman, to be interested in sex. It's not okay. Contrary to popular belief, I know in America they say, give it up. So, how you say it? Sow your royal oats. Do it. Go ahead. All the music, all the rappers, all the athletes. Hell, when you become, and Cap, you know about being an athlete in college. I'm pretty sure a lot of brothers know. When you become an athlete, it it's almost impossible to avoid fornication. Because it's been pushed on you so hard. And it's thrown at you. College visits, locker room visits. It's thrown at you. This world that we live in does not do nothing the Lord tells them to do. And we'll say flee fornication. Right?
And if you're the main athlete,
oh, it's over.
Yeah, they're going after you. You're the meal ticket because they expect you to make it either into the NFL or the NBA. They expect that this person is going to make millions of dollars. So they throw it to them early. It's all in the sports world. It's all
right.
And everything you're going to turn to as kids, it's in everything.
Hey, who ever seen Love and Basketball? I know everybody here went up. What you there? Love and Basketball, right? I know. I watched it a million times. When I was a nigga. Well, Love and Basketball. it's a scene where what was the brother name? Quincy?
Yeah.
Omar Epps.
Oh yeah, Omar Epps. His father was being accused of having committed adultery on his mother, which he lied about it at first. But then the mother hired an agent, followed him around, took pictures of him, and found out he was lying. So Omar Epps confronted his father about it, and the father broke it down to him, which is wrong, but this is how it is. He said, when you get off the plane, it's 50 women waiting on you when you get off the plane, and then it's 30 waiting in the lobby. He said those 20 make it to the elevator. 10 make it up, but at the door, it's that one that made it. It's the one. So it's going to be pushed. It's going to be pushed on you. So brothers and sisters, what I'm telling you, when y'all get to that next level, high school, college, it will be pushed on you. That's why we must understand how to fight it now. Because it will be pushed on you. Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, and not just physical sleeping around, because a lot of sisters and brothers say, well, I'm still a virgin, but they done oral, they done masturbation, they touching boys, girls touching girls, girls.
Yeah, girls touching girls.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
There you go. Because now I asked a girl the other day, she said, boy on boy is nasty, but girl on girl is okay. And she would say she wasn't gay. So the mindset have changed, right? So young men can't touch the women. The women, you can't grope and touch and whatever. It's the same thing.
Yep, that's all falls under fornication.
Because y'all know y'all got those trips to Disney World.
Oh, we gonna get that. We gonna get that. Bro, trust me, I'm gonna touch it all. Disney World trips. Yeah, we had. What was that? We had a senior night. Grad night. Woo! Prom. Dances. Homecoming dance. Oh, we gonna get that. We gonna get that. Get wisdom. What's up, Cap? Hey, come on. Get wisdom solid for it. Nah, bring it in, bro. Hey, what we doing? We teaching y'all the truth. You got 5 men up here that got many stories. Many stories. You know, and we can guide y'all. We can tell y'all what to avoid. But it's up to y'all to listen. It's up to y'all to actually not want to be itching. Oh, we gonna get that. To not want to be scarred for the rest of your life.
Play Russian roulette.
Play Russian roulette. You got some officer?
Yeah, I want to say something, because what you're touching on is very important, because my daughter, the home school that she's in, they wanted to take them up to Jacksonville for a college tour or something like that. But Rebecca couldn't understand why I was telling her, hell no. Her mind's like, well, Dad, they're gonna take me to a college. But I said, Rebecca, they're gonna be taking you to a college. You're away from home. What hotel you gonna be in? What adult is there? If something happened to you and you scream out, who is there to assist you.
Why go about kill everybody?
Because they don't understand the dangers that is out there.
Yeah, right.
Hey, officer, that's a heavy point. That's a heavy. We're gonna get to that too, because you know when they sit on their trips, they have like chaperones according to like every like 60 children or something like that. How one person gonna watch 60 kids?
I don't listen to these chaperones is somewhere around their age group too.
Yeah.
So they cool with the kids a lot of the time.
Hell, a lot of them be.
Yeah, trying to get over.
Yeah.
So they ain't really watching them, and the kids know that too, because our people are wise to do evil.
Right. It was Lakewood Retreat. Teenagers. The chaperones, the ones that were in the head of every campsite, was sleeping with some of the sisters. This was a Christian campsite, and they were sleeping with the young women that they were in charge of.
Dude, that stuff is real. The stuff is real. Y'all kids may not understand it, but all you gotta do is just follow. Just follow. Just listen. Remember the days of old. Ask your fathers, and he gonna teach y'all. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 4:12. Fornication includes also watching porn. You porn watchers out there, watching that stuff, give me Wisdom of Solomon 4:12.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon.
Watching twerk videos on YouTube.
It ain't even twerk
World
videos
star.
anymore. It's watching rap videos.
Right, rap videos. You know every rap song that came out.
And the videos are even worse. They not like it was when we was growing up, where it was some kind of censorship. You know, you might have one girl in some Daisy Dukes, and she has some stockings on up on there, so you really couldn't see it, and they flash it maybe once real quick or something.
Hey, Cap, you know
no
about Uncut.
Yeah.
Y'all know about Uncut.
If you're in your 30s, you know about Uncut.
After dark.
I
know about
After
Uncut.
Dark. They had to take it off.
When you play like you sleep, until everybody else in the house go to sleep, and then you turn that TV on at 3 o'clock,
BET.
and then you turn it real low, so nobody can hear you.
Yeah.
You turn it real low so nobody in the house can hear you. Nah, but real talk. Now every video is
Every video is uncut video.
Yeah.
Every single one of them now.
Give me Wisdom of Solomon 4:12.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness.
The bewitching of naughtiness, read.
Doth obscure things that are honest.
God says the bewitching of naughtiness will obscure things that are honest. Meaning, when you watch that stuff, eventually you're going to start to do the stuff. You know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. My daddy said don't do it. My mama said don't do it. But you always dabbling in it. You watching it. It's gonna obscure the things that are honest. It's gonna destroy the good things that you know you're supposed to be doing, and it's gonna override it. And next thing you know, you're gonna be dabbling in sin. You're gonna be always watching it. You're gonna be always hiding it on your phones. You got a lock on your phone. Why does a kid?
That's what I was gonna say. Some of you parents in here, I do not understand for the life of me, because this is the thing. This is the thing. And parents, you be making excuses for these kids. Oh, he need to get in contact with me. Remember, you was a damn kid too, and you ain't never have no cell phone.
Never.
You always got in contact with your parents when you needed to.
And if you had a cell phone, it was only to play Snake.
That was it.
Y'all don't talk about that old Metro.
The Nokia. It was a Nokia.
It was a Nokia. You used to play Snake all day.
And it didn't come out to high school.
Right.
But some of these kids got cell phones in middle school for what? Send them to the principal's office to call you. You give them cell phones and you don't know what they got on it. Guess what? The bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure that little honest kid that you raised from a baby. Right. Now you don't know why they so puffed up. Right. You don't know why they so secretive. You don't know why his arm is so big now.
Right. Full arm, cop diesel, Popeye. Don't know what's going on. Hey, but Cap, what you said is very important.
I don't understand.
It's very key. I'm going to tell y'all kids something. Adults can tell when you have dabbled in things you ain't supposed to be dabbling in. Because then you start to walk different. You start to talk different. You start to look different. And I didn't understand that when I was little. My mom was, what you been doing? What you talking about? Nah, you walking different. Now you walk around the house with your chest out. Real talk. Adults can, I'm telling y'all can't fool us. Adults can tell. Go ahead, Uncle.
And sisters can see it as well. They'll see another sister, oh, you glowing today. What you done did? They already know it.
Yep, you done smelt yourself now. You know what you're capable of.
And I want to let you youngsters know this too, is especially for you young sisters out here. When you start dabbling in those things that are not honest, your body changes.
Hips get bigger.
Yep. Automatically, you give it up. It ain't too much longer before your parents gonna be like, take her ass to the doctor. She's doing something she ain't supposed to be doing, and when I find out, confirm it from the doctor, we're gonna beat the black off of her.
Yep. Better believe it.
You can't hide it.
Can't hide that stuff, man. Brothers can't hide it either. Start walking around with boxers on. Bro used to cover everything, shirt off, now boxers on. Walk around
All of a sudden, he won't do push-ups and stuff all the time. He will get buff, get cut.
Tell you, can't hide it. You cannot hide it. Sirach 18 and 30. We have to speed it up a little bit, Officer Judah.
Sirach chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust.
Do what?
Go not after thy lust.
Now, I want y'all to understand, we're not saying that you are never going to feel lust. That's not what we're saying. It's going to happen. But you got to understand how to fight it. How to use the words of God, the words of the Most High's knowledge and understanding, and how to understand what fear is. We don't understand how to fear God. We think fear is coming to the Sabbath every Sabbath. Now understand, it takes more than that. When you go home and you go to school Monday morning, that's when you got to practice what you learn. Now, I mean, it's easy to practice it here. It's easy to come, be quiet. Shalom. Shalom. What's our grace place? I'm a young prophet. I'm a daughter of Sarah. But then when you go to school Monday, you're the loudest one in the class. The most ratchet one in the hallway. Always, brothers always taking that bathroom pass every 2 minutes. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Because I used to do it. Taking that bathroom pass every 2 minutes. Go in the hallway and see who you can look at. All right. Read on.
Sirach chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Refrain ourselves from what causes you to sin. Refrain ourselves from that stuff. That's it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Another point. Asking or sending inappropriate pictures is evil. Asking or sending inappropriate pictures is evil. Give me Matthew 5:27.
Bring it out.
Brothers, you asking for naked pictures?
They the main one.
You better repent.
You sisters,
sending naked pictures?
Naked pictures?
Better repent.
Repent.
Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Nowadays, the pictures don't go nowhere. Y'all think the pictures be erased. Hey, back in the day, y'all know how it was back in the day. You got to sit and send you a picture. You would tell them, oh, no, I'm going to erase it. You save that thing in your archive. Let me say that thing, hey, bro.
Guess who this is?
Guess who this is right here? Got her. Tell y'all think it's a game. Matthew 5:27.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery, read.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh...
Whosoever what?
Looketh on a woman to lust after her, hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
God says you committed adultery. This by lusting at this image that was sent to you.
See, this is the one thing that the world has taught us, that Christ loves you no matter what. He done away with the law. But Christ actually, he magnified the law. Right. He took it from the physical to now it's even in your mental. Right. If it's in your mind, I'm a bring it up on Judgment Day. That's why no more sacrifice, no more scapegoats now.
No more
it's going to be you on trial.
No more excuses.
No matter what your age is when he comes back.
Yep. Sexting. Y'all know what sexting is. Look at Nariah smiling. You know what sexting is. Sisters, y'all know what sex is? We're gonna be real.
Bring it out.
Phone sex is evil. It's evil. Give me 1 Corinthians 15:33. Go ahead.
All right. In the sex team, once any of you, young sisters or young brothers, get aroused, get sexting. Once you start thinking about, oh, let me ask her what she has on, get sexting. Once you start thinking of the thought of, let me see if I could get her naked or anything like that for her to show me anything. Same thing for you sisters as well. As soon as that thought hits your head and your blood start rushing, you already know what you're in.
But you know what's crazy, officer? No wicked nigga. I'm gonna say nigga. I gotta say it. Corrupt. No, I'm sorry. No corrupt nigga or a Negro should ever have your numbers.
For real.
Right. Bring it out.
Ever. The only man should have your number is your father.
Exactly.
That's it. No evil harlots should ever have your number. So parents, go through your children's phones.
Definitely.
Go through your children's phones thoroughly. I'm gonna tell. Ain't no point of my daughter having a phone. I'm gonna give my daughter a phone. I'm gonna give her a phone. I talked about this with my wife the other night. I'm gonna give her a phone. The only number that she's gonna be able to dial is mine.
And now
That's it. And 911. And it's gonna be on speed dial 1 and 2.
No internet on the phone.
No internet. No Wi-Fi. No Hulu. No, what is it? No Instagram. Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, that's the time my daughter got iPad, Wi-Fi, no phone.
That's it. That's it.
They don't need it.
What's the point?
What they call it?
Right. What do you got to talk about at 11 years old? 13 years old? 15. What is there to talk about? Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna get my daughters a phone. It got 4 buttons on it. It got one. It's called like a butterfly phone or something like that. Press 1, it called 911. Press 2, it called daddy. Press 3, it called mama. That's it.
That's it. That's the only point. Hey, yeah, real talk. Pass that out. Pass the information to everybody in here. There's no point for your kids to have a phone where they can access anything. And okay, let's say you do give your children a phone, whatever. You feel the type of way you don't want to clutch them. I don't want to hold them back. Put parental advisories on your children's phone. So when they type in a website, it automatically X.
And you know they got apps now that you can download on your phone and have their number. If they go to a website that is like XXX or something like that, it sends you a notification automatically.
Yeah, you could even do that with the provider, the service provider.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Just like I tell my wife, even with Comcast. Comcast, you can actually cut off the Wi-Fi at a certain period, say at 8 o'clock. You can cut off the Wi-Fi. So now your kids cannot get on the phone. Because a lot of times what we do, we allow our kids to go into their room playing like they sleep. But they in the room with the door closed. That's another thing. This door closed thing. this door closed thing, that right there, I'm going to tell you. That one ain't thought of.
Hey, also, the parents got to institute surprise checks.
Yeah. Not even so. Right.
What are you doing?
You're too quiet. What's going on? My mom used to pop in my room at like 3 in the morning just to check. Okay. I'm going to tell you straight. My daughter ever closed the door.
You can't check like that.
My daughter ever closed the door. That door will come off the hinge. There will be no doors in the house.
No locked doors.
No, not even locked doors, bro. There will be no doors in the house. I would tear it down and tell her to hold the screws. Hold this, baby. Hold the screw, mama. Yeah, no doors in the house, bro. Don't play with me. Where we at? 1 Corinthians 15:33. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 33. Mm-hmm. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
Just like Cap said, now that good old sweet little sweetheart, that good, oh, he's such a good boy. But he been dabbling in evil communication. He been dabbling in sexting and phone sex and evil music and videos. Worldly friends in school done talked him into watching War Star Hip Hop twerk videos compilation.
Because, officer, in school, the reason that you used to catch that girl slipping, because your homeboy would tell you, hey, man, she like you, bro.
Yeah, she like you. She like you.
And that homegirl would say, hey, girl, he told me he like you.
You know how people, kids in school try to play matchmaker?
Yeah.
Hell, most of us in here was matchmakers. Sisters know what I'm talking about. Yeah, why they laughing? They know. Give me James 1 and 12. Then we're going to get into, what time we are again? Yeah, we good. We got time. James 1 and 12.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
God said we got to endure temptation, sisters, brothers. We got to endure temptation because you're going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted. And in this society, I'm going to tell you something. What Babylon deals with mainly is lust. That's the spirit that's in. That's why we can go on our phones. We can go on YouTube. Hell, we can walk. We can drive down the street at 4 in the morning and find something to sleep with. Easy. God says you got to endure fornication. Endure temptation. Read on.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Come on.
For when he is tried,
come on,
he shall receive the crown of life.
You see that? We are being tried. That temptation is only to try you, to see what you're going to do. See how you say you love the Lord? Okay, we'll see. You see what he did to Job? He allowed Satan to try him. Read on.
Which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
The Lord did what? Promise
to them that love him.
You love the Lord, the Most High said, I promise you, you will get the earth back. I promise you. Read on.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil.
Read on.
Neither tempteth he any man.
Read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
That's why when we read Sirach 18, it says, do not go after thy lust. Because when you go after it, you're going to be drawn away by it. Read on.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Read.
And enticed.
And enticed, watch this.
Then when lust has conceived.
Now, when lust has conceived, that's going back into when Christ said, look upon the maid, the lust, you have committed adultery. When lust hath conceived, read.
It bringeth forth sin.
Bringeth forth sin, read.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Here's an example. I'm going to use sending nudes. That sister send you a nude picture? Sister, the brother send you a nude picture? Now you're looking at it. You're staring at it. And just all the thoughts in your mind is just running. Now Satan is just playing on your emotions, on your lust, enticing you on what you like. And now, when it says, after lust is conceived, what's next?
It bringeth forth sin.
Now the sin is, and you know what? My mom gonna be gone. Tomorrow she worked till 1 in the morning. And it's just me in the house. So you could come over tomorrow between 10 and 12. We'll be good. Sin, now y'all done slept together.
And sin,
when it is finished,
bringeth forth death.
Now you're being judged. Now I'm going to judge you. See, those are the steps. It's steps to it. A lot of times we say, man, why you did that? I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I made a mistake. I didn't know he had AIDS. I didn't know she had herpes, gonorrhea. I didn't know. But it was steps that you allowed yourself to take to get judged by the Lord. Read the last part again.
And sin, when it is finished.
When sin is finished, when sin is complete, the action, read.
It bringeth forth death.
Now you got to die. Now you got to die. Or you're going to be judged by either diseases, becoming a baby mama, being put on child support at the age of 18.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good loop. I'm going to catch it right here. All right, jump back up to verse 12. Read that again in the vein of today's class. Read verse 12, the top of it.
James chapter 1 and verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
All right, so one of you seasoned brothers, new brothers that got some age on you, that's out of high school, let's put it like that. What in the vein of today's class, what is the blessing that the man that endured temptation, the Most High will give you? Let's see if anybody's thinking. In the vein of today's class, whenever Bishop Kanai always used to teach, always every scripture he brought out, I would keep the vein of the title of the class in there so I know where he's going with it. He wouldn't bring out a scripture and completely different than the title. What is the blessing that the Lord will give a man if he endures temptation? Brother Judah had his hand up first. Let's see. Teach these young whippersnappers.
You said, what's the blessing?
Yeah, what's the blessing the Lord will give you if you endure temptation?
The blessing you get is the kingdom.
Oh, no, you missed
or
it.
Discipline.
Nah, you missed it. La Wahhabia. Let's see if you get it right.
Shalom leadership.
Shalom.
A virtuous wife.
Ah, there you go. That's different from a married brother, single brother right there. He got it. He got it. That's the blessing if you endure temptation. Tell you right now, and some of you brothers in here can attest, and a lot of our brothers in the world can attest to this, and I think the Most High that I didn't end up this way. The worst thing that brothers you will want to have is a baby mama.
Whoa. Bring it out.
Oh, you don't know the levels of the wickedness you gotta go through. Oh, the level of heartache and pain, and you scroll through. If you get caught up in the world of Facebook videos, you be scrolling for hours. You'll see stuff. You be seeing like, dang, this dude. See, look, he went after his lust. He got with this girl. She messed around and got pregnant. Now, it was one video I saw, he got to drive 3 hours to come get his baby on the weekend. And when he get there, the baby mama puts him through all kind of hell. And sometimes don't even give him the baby. Just make him drive 3 hours to waste gas.
You talking about the one with the car seat?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that what she threw the baby?
No, it ain't that one. She didn't want him to put, she wanted to put the baby in the car seat herself, but he didn't want her nowhere near her car. They stayed out there arguing for 20 minutes. And then she go back sometimes, he drive back 3 hours, don't even get the kid. That's a pain that you don't want. Sisters, you do not want to deal with a baby daddy that you can't even find him to get some help. Now you got to depend on the uncles and the brothers and the mama and your daddy and grandma to help fend for you when you need Pampers, you need clothes, you need somebody to watch the kids so you can go to work. That's a headache you don't want. God says he'll bless you if you endure temptation. I give you what you need, but you got to endure the temptation. You step out of line of that, it's going to be something that you never bargained for. And you got to deal with your whole life.
Because don't nobody ever ask for AIDS. Nobody ever asked the Lord, please bless me with herpes. Please bless me with syphilis, Lord. Please bless me with the itch.
Put that on top of this good love that I'm going to make with this brand.
Nobody asked for that.
Give me that. Hey, go to Proverbs 7, because you were talking about the steps. Temptation and sin that lead to death. Go to Proverbs 7 and read verse 21, because you talked about phone at first, right? Read that 7 and 21.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 21. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield.
His or her much fair speech. That, you know what that's called? That game.
Nice.
That sweet talk in your ear. When you're on the phone, just listening to each other breathe.
You sleep?
Yeah, I was there. I did that.
Yeah. We all did it.
You sleep?
We all did it.
Hello. You just hang up. Think what happened yesterday. I fell asleep.
I didn't even know I was asleep. That much fair speech he'll cause you to yield. Read on.
With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
He with the flattering of his lips, he made me come. He told me I was just coming over. He was gonna give me some money, and then I end up staying. And
He said he loved me.
he said he loved me. Verse 22.
Verse 22. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter.
Nothing's stopping him. He don't know he's going to the slaughterhouse. Go ahead.
Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks.
Read on.
Till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life.
He strikes him with AIDS. Go ahead.
Hearken unto me now, therefore, O you children.
I talk a lot to children in the Bible. Go ahead.
And attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways.
To his ways, her or his ways.
Go not astray in her paths.
Don't try to set up a time when you know your mama and you got the day off from school.
Right.
And you know mama and daddy
release
gotta work.
Early release.
And you started setting up paths for them to get there.
Oh my.
Go ahead.
For she has cast down many wounded.
This brother got many notches on his belt. You new to the game. He's been doing this thing. He know how to set you up. He know how to throw it out there and entice you. Like, I'm gonna just leave that right there and let a man think about that all day. Go ahead.
Yea, many strong men have been slain by her.
Many strong men. Go ahead.
Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death.
Is what?
Going down to the chambers of death.
You didn't know that you was enticed. Lust grabbed your attention. And then came sin. And with that sin brought death. That's what happens. And you know, it started during our generation where middle schoolers started to get a little frisky. And now, I already know what it's like. Because when I was teaching high school, middle school, I told you earlier, it was 6th and 7th graders with junior and senior high school boyfriends. You think they was playing Monopoly? They didn't give a damn about their Powerpuff cards, their Pokemon cards. They used that as a ploy to get them to come down to the house. And once they got them, you know what they did? Put a hand here. Put a hand here. Rub the back here. And in your little young body that ain't never felt that sensation before,
enticed.
You enticed.
And especially men would press up on a woman even she says no. And that peer pressure would have her break.
And you know what they say? They say 1,000 no's and 1 yes means yes. That's a slogan in the world. 1,000 no's and 1 yes means yes.
And I'm telling you, young girls too. These young boys in middle school and high school, they have been taught the game already by their uncles.
You better believe it.
They know their uncles have already schooled them on what signs to look for. Even if she say no, but if she's doing this, that means she really wants it.
Right.
They already know. That's why they keep pushing and pushing till you give it up.
That's why they say read body language. Don't listen to this. Read a body language. You know, what's that R. Kelly song? Your body telling me yeah? Y'all know what I'm talking about. That R. Kelly?
I don't know.
Yep. Say my mind is telling me what?
My mind is telling
You don't know about but your body. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right. Hey, this stuff is so wicked.
It's wicked as hell. Right.
That was some crazy
It's wicked as hell.
But
man.
everybody in here used to listen to R. Kelly.
Oh, you better believe it.
Oh, they loved R. Kelly.
You better believe it. Half of these little kids know about R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Give me Hebrews 13 real quick. Hebrews 13 real quick.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4.
Just like Cap went into about the blessing, Hebrews 13:4.
Marriage is honorable.
Marriage is honorable. Marriage. I was thinking the other day. Me and my wife, we married. I was thinking, in my family, out of my immediate family, I'm the only one married.
Same here, bro.
And I was thinking about my wife and said, damn, out of her immediate family, she's the only one married.
Same here, bro.
How about you, Cap?
Yeah, my brother been with this girl. He got 2 kids by her. They've been together longer than me and my wife. They still ain't married.
All of us up here can relate to that. God says marriage is honorable. But I'm like, man, I was thinking like, all praise to the Most High, I'm different. All praise to the Most High, she's different. Sisters, y'all are different. Brothers, y'all are different. Young men, y'all are different. Who's going to take that step and say, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to build my spirit up. And I'm going to get married. Read it.
Oh, you remember, I know the sisters remember, the age sisters. There was a time when one of the things you ask, what you going to do in the future? The first thing you say, I'm going to get married. That's not what's coming out of the young sisters' mouths today. Yeah, I'm going to get a boyfriend. They're not talking about marriage. And we'll be real with you. Back then, in our time, when a girl said she was a virgin, we ain't believe them. Like, impossible. Nah, we don't believe it. You ladies, you young sisters are bringing that back. Y'all bringing that back to where we can believe that again. Back then, we didn't believe that. Nah. Show the tokens of virginity.
Right.
I don't believe it.
Right. Prove it.
For real. That's how bad it's gotten.
For real. But even with that, those conversations should not be had with anybody. Those conversations should not be had with anybody. Oh, I'm a virgin. Why would you tell another person you're a virgin? Why would you tell another sister, oh, you know, I ain't never had sex before? Wow. What's the point of having that conversation?
Hey, now you bring it up. I think back in college, it was a wicked Negro that only went after girls that were virgins in college. He's a wicked Negro. He would only go after them.
Defile them. That's it. Read on.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Come on.
And the bed undefiled.
Read.
But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So, let's see how God judges whoremongers and adulterers. Let's see. You want to play with God, this is how you will be judged. Give me the article, please. STDs in racial and ethnic minorities. Go down. Yes, can you read that, please?
Yes. Public health impact. Surveillance data show higher rates of reported STDs among some racial and ethnic minorities.
So it says, this is a study. This is facts. That is certain races that have higher STD rates than others. Read.
When compared with rates among whites, race and Hispanic ethnicity in the United States are population characteristics that are correlated with other factors affecting health status, such as unemployment and low educational attainment. In 2015, the overall proportion of the United States population living in poverty was 14.7% or 48.2 million.
Go down to completeness of race ethnicity data in 2016. No, you got to scroll down. Scroll all the way down. Scroll down.
Other way.
There you go. Hold on. Completeness of race ethnicity. There we go. All right, read that right there. Read that.
Completeness of race and ethnicity data in 2016. Chlamydia. 28.8% of chlamydia case reports were missing race or ethnicity data.
So you ain't got to read. Just read the STDs.
Okay, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. Scroll down.
Yep. So now we're gonna go over chlamydia, y'all. We're gonna go over chlamydia.
You want the?
For those who don't know, who knows what chlamydia is? Who knows? Oh, the sister know? You know what chlamydia is? Where's her father? Where's Eliab?
Right in front of you.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, man. I'll explain it. I'm gonna go to. Let me see. All right, chlamydia. This ain't getting low. Chlamydia, a common sexual transmitted infection, spreads by sexual contact. A sexual transmitted bacterial infection that, if untreated, may cause infertility. Meaning that you can't have kids. All right, go ahead.
Among the 46 states that submitted data on race and ethnicity of chlamydia, cases each year during 2012 through 2016, according to the OMB standards, rates of reported chlamydia cases increased during the time frame among whites.
Go down to blacks. Read blacks.
Blacks in 2016, the overall rate of reported chlamydia cases among blacks in the United States was 1,125.9 cases per 100,000 population.
So for every 100,000 people, there was 1,125 cases of chlamydia. Go ahead.
The rate of reported chlamydia cases among black women was 5.1.
Was how much?
5.1 times the rate among white women.
5 times higher.
5 times higher. Go ahead.
And
just jump down. The rate of reported chlamydia cases among black. I read it. The rate. Oh goodness.
Gotcha.
Come on.
The rate of reported chlamydia cases among black women aged.
No. Go back up. Go back up. The rate of reported chlamydia cases among black men was 6.6 times the rate among white men. 6 times higher. Go down. Go down right there. Read Native American, Hispanics. Read Hispanics.
Hispanics in 2016. The rate of reported chlamydia cases among Hispanics was 374.6 cases per 100,000 population, which was 1.9 times the rate among whites.
Go down. Go down to the next one. Go down to the next one. Gonorrhea. Go down. Go down. Read that. Blacks.
Blacks in 2016. 51%.
51%. Real.
Of reported gonorrhea cases with known race and ethnicity occurred among blacks.
Among blacks. 51% of the cases of gonorrhea was blacks. Go down. Go to Hispanics.
That's Russian roulette.
Hispanics, read that.
In 2016, the rate of reported gonorrhea cases among Hispanics was 95.9. That's 96%.
Yeah,
95.9 cases per 100% population.
Which was 1.7 times the rate among whites. Go down.
Damn.
Now we're going up. No, go up so we can get the syphilis. Go down. Go to blacks.
In 2016, 36.6% of reported P and S syphilis cases with known race and ethnicity occurred among blacks.
Go down. Go to Hispanics.
In 2016, the rate of reported P and S syphilis cases among Hispanics, 10.9 cases per 100,000 population, which was 2.2 times the rate among whites.
Go down. What is that? Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Same thing. All right, go to the next article. Real quick. You gotta be quick. African Americans, all right? HIV among African Americans.
Let me read it.
Yes.
HIV among African Americans. Blacks/African Americans. That's derogatory off top. You got two nationalities.
Right.
Blacks African Americans account for a higher proportion of new HIV diagnoses.
Account for a higher proportion of HIV diagnosis. Go down. Go to the numbers and read that. There we go.
Numbers. HIV and AIDS diagnosis in 2016. 17,528 African Americans received an HIV diagnosis in the United States. 12,890 men, 4,560 women. More than half, 58% of African Americans who received an HIV diagnosis were gay or bisexual.
For y'all to know, bisexual is a man. What is that? A man with a woman and a man.
Yep.
That goes into
ways.
your threesomes.
Yep.
A woman, 2 women and a man, 2 men and a woman.
We go both ways.
Go both ways. Go ahead.
Among African American gay and bisexual men who received an HIV diagnosis, 39% were young men.
Young men.
Aged 25 to 34.
Aged 25 to 34. Go down, go down, go down. Living with HIV and deaths. Go down to that.
Right here. There we go. Living with HIV and deaths. At the end of 2014, an estimated 471,500 African Americans were living with HIV. 43% of everyone living with the HIV in the United States.
43% of those living with HIV in the United States are black.
Dang.
Go back up. Go back up.
And 16% were unaware of their infection.
Meaning didn't even know. Go back up real quick. Go back up to from 2011 to 2015.
Go down some.
I need you to read what says the number of HIV diagnosis.
All right, it's the third bulletin point. The number of HIV diagnoses among African American women fell 20%, though it is still high compared to women of other races / ethnicities.
They go into that, I will judge you. Read on.
In 2016,
here we go.
4,560 African American women received an HIV diagnosis.
Watch this.
Compared with 1,450 white women.
Do y'all see the comparison? It says 4,560 black women had HIV, compared to only 1,450 white women.
It says 1,168 Hispanic Latino women.
Go to the next article. HIV statistics and research.
Oh,
what's up, man?
Load up, big. All right.
Go to how HIV affects different groups of people.
Oh, here we go. HIV. How HIV affects different groups of people by race and ethnicity. African Americans are most affected by HIV.
Read it again.
African Americans are most affected by HIV.
In this country, they says African Americans are more affected by HIV. Read on.
In 2015.
Watch this, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention. Go ahead.
African Americans made up only 12% of the U.S. population, but had 42% of all new HIV infections.
Y'all see that? 42% of the country of African Americans have HIV. So when you playing games, you're playing Russian roulette.
Additionally, Hispanic and Latinos are also strongly affected.
Go ahead, watch this.
They make up 17% of the U.S. population, but had 26% of all new HIV infections.
This goes for all Israel.
Yep.
God says, I will judge you for your iniquity.
Could you scroll back up? No, go down. Between 42 and 26. That's 70%.
Yep.
Amongst the blacks and Hispanics.
70%. Go to the next.
Hold on.
Go ahead,
Next bulletin point. I hope you go next bulletin point.
No, I was going to go on to
by age. Young people.
Oh my God.
Young people aged 13 to 24.
That's middle school enough.
That's middle school. That's why I said middle school, y'all stay out here.
13 to 24
are especially affected by HIV.
Yeah, real talk. Do y'all understand this? Y'all young men, do y'all understand this? Y'all young women, do y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
Playing with God.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Yeah, say it on the mic, Captain, because you said it right.
Listen, y'all better off keeping these laws in here.
Yep.
Stop.
This is y'all safe haven right here.
Yep.
This is it.
This is where you're safe. You're only safe keeping God's laws. It's like putting your hand into a bucket of snakes.
You know why you safe in here, Captain? Because guess what? We got a certain thing called a proving process.
Right.
God got a thing called a proving process, right? So the Lord put it on the spirit of the bishops and deacons. Make this a statute in the time y'all living in right now. Make them get papers.
Yep.
Go to the doctor and get the papers before you sign.
Yep.
That way they don't get caught up in the statistics.
Yep.
The Most High put that on the bishops and deacons' spirit to say, tell them go get tested before they get married.
And you know what? Florida has a law where if you infect somebody and you knew you had it, you go to jail. You go to jail. That's 5 years. You go to jail.
And I want you to understand this too. How the Most High said, I'm going to judge you. I ain't worried about them. Anybody in here, you older man, you ever heard of Charlie Sheen?
Yep.
By show of hands, who heard of Charlie Sheen? Y'all know he knew he had AIDS and went around sleeping
many women
with a bunch of white women. Got 20, 30, 40 of them HIV. His shows are still coming on TV.
Yep.
He still ain't in jail. But Bill Cosby...
Hey, Cat, remember he said he gave them tiger blood.
He what?
He gave them tiger blood.
Tiger blood. And he's not judged for those. But you do that and you have something, Esau gonna give you the damn electric chair.
Yep, you better believe it.
Gonna put you on death row. So let me finish this. By age, young people, age 13 to 24. How do y'all, you men in here, young men from, raise your hand if you between the ages of 13 to 24. Raise your hand. Okay, all right.
They just at it.
Yeah, the mother was just 12. Especially, God said, you that age, I'ma definitely get you because you rebellious against your parents. Are especially affected by HIV. They comprised of 16% of the U.S. population, but accounted for 26% of all new HIV infections in 2010. All young people are not equally at risk. However, young men who have sex with men, for example, accounted for 72% of all new infections in people. Let me get the scripture real quick, and then we're going to move on. Romans. Go to Romans. Romans, because you young kids, a lot of you all, your mind is still fragile. You can be swayed one way or another. That's why your parents bring you to the Sabbath every single Sabbath. That's why they go over scriptures with you so your mind can be steered in the right way. Because your mind, you can see something and you can one day, all of them, wake up one day, I always felt this way.
I was born like this.
I've always liked guys named Jerome. Guys got the Romans 1, where is that, 26?
Book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature.
Nature says that a man should be with a woman should be with a man, and God stipulates that they should not touch one another in that way until they are married. Right. Read on.
And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another.
God says that ain't a feeling that I didn't put that in you. That's lust, and you went after it because you was enticed of your own desires. Jump down to verse 32. No, keep reading on.
Yes, sir. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
Ungodly. Go ahead.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of the
payment
of the error which was meet.
God said it was good. It was good for them. All young people are not equally at risk. However, young men who have sex with men, for example, accounted for 72% of all new infections in people aged 13 to 24.
Read the next one, Cap.
And young African American MSM are even more severely affected.
God said it's good for you.
Good. Good. Give me the next article. Most common STDs for women and men. We got to read this quick because I want to get to a video. Most common STDs for women and men. Come on.
Most common STDs for women and men. You got to blow it up. For a while, but they ain't that good. All right.
Just go right to it. Go down. Start with HPV.
HPV. Human papillomavirus. Papillomavirus. You want me to read the article?
Yes. Just the first one. First paragraph.
Nearly every sexual active person will have HPV at some point. It is the most common sexually transmitted in the U.S. More than 40 types of HPV can be spread sexually. You can get them through vaginal, anal, or oral sex.
So, I mean, you ain't even got to literally have sex with somebody. You can orally, mouth.
You can get them by skin-to-skin contact.
Go to the next one. Chlamydia. Scroll down.
Chlamydia is the most commonly reported STD in the U.S. It's spread mostly by vaginal or anal sex, but you can get it through oral sex.
So all the ways of uncleanness of fornication you can get all of these STDs. Don't let nobody ever tell you different. Go ahead.
Sometimes you'll notice an odd discharge from your vagina or penis, or pain or burning when you pee.
Read.
But only about 25% of men and 50% of men get symptoms.
Go down to gonorrhea.
Page 2. Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is another common bacterial STD. People often get it with chlamydia, and the symptoms are similar. Unusual discharge from the vagina or penis, or pain or burning when you pee.
None of y'all want that. Burning, itching. Go ahead.
Most men with gonorrhea get symptoms, but only about 20% of women.
Go down to herpes.
Herpes. Both strains of the herpes virus, SHV1 and HSV2, can cause genital herpes, but usually the culprit is HSV2. The main symptom of herpes is painful blisters around the penis, vagina, or anus. But you might get blisters inside your vagina or anus where you can't see or feel them. Not everyone who has herpes gets blisters.
Watch this.
Herpes is easy to catch.
Easy to catch. Go ahead.
All it takes is skin-to-skin contact, including areas that a condom doesn't cover.
So even wearing protection doesn't protect you. Go down to the last sentence. Because.
This right here?
Nope, the last sentence of herpes.
Last sentence of herpes. Because herpes is a virus, you can't cure it.
Cannot. I mean, you gotta live with this for the rest of your life. You gotta live with itching. You gotta live with burning. You gotta live with that stuff for the rest of your life. Go ahead.
Nope.
It says, but you can take medication to manage it.
But
right?
you can take medication to manage it.
All right, give me the video.
Hey, that's the other part where you read all that terrible stuff, and then Esau try to soften it up. Oh, he got medicine for you, though.
We got medicine. It's gonna be all right.
Take your chances.
I want y'all to pay attention to this video, y'all.
This video is I have herpes. What I learned after.
Now, this is a Israelite sister, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention. Everything we went over, and we're gonna have to end it on this. Everything we went over, the steps on how lust is conceived, and after lust is conceived, sin, and then judgment. I want y'all to listen to the steps that she went through, and then God judged her after sin was conceived. Go ahead, play it.
Guys, I'm coming to you today because I want to share my story with herpes. A lot of you guys may know me already or don't know me. This is the first time you came across me because you just found out you had herpes, or you've been dealing with it for a while and you're still not getting your questions answered. You're still confused. You're still frustrated. You're still hurting. You know, you feel like you're alone. You're feeling nasty. You just feel like your life is over. So I hope this helps you a lot and give you some hope. I'm Belize Samuels. I contracted herpes 8 years ago. I was in college when I contracted it. I had just transferred to a new school. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? At that given time, I didn't really know anybody at the time, but I started getting out, getting involved in different organizations, things like this, and I met this guy. He was so fine, y'all. But I met this guy, and we just hanging out and things like that, getting to know each other. And then one night he invited me over with some friends and things like that. Didn't do anything right away. And then the next time I spent some time with them, we end up having sex, okay? So the morning after, I just felt some itching, irritation feeling, but I didn't think anything of it, Sometimes that just happened, so I wasn't thinking anything of it. So he was trying to do something again, and I was like, no, I feel a little funny. He kind of caught an attitude, but I was like, whatever. And I'm happy I said whatever, because I ended up putting my clothes on, leaving, tell him how I talked to him later. We were in school, so we had to go to school. And I went home getting ready to take a shower, and I was like, I am in so much pain. Being a woman, I looked and I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He gave me something. At that time, first thing that came to mind, it was herpes, but I was like, no, it can't be. I don't know nobody with it. I don't even know what it looked like. That junk ain't really real. I don't believe it. It's on people's lip. So I was freaking out. I was like, okay. What should I do? I text my homegirl, like, hey, and she's a nurse. She was in nursing school at the time. I'm like, oh, I have blah 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 blah. And she was like, I think it's herpes. I was like, don't say that. And I kind of like start freaking out and things like that. She was like, well, did you tell the guy? So I texted him. I told him what was going on, and I was like, well, I'm about to go to the doctor today and figure out what was going on. He was like, just let me know. Funny that I end up getting on the same transit he was on. He's in the back, I'm in the front, and we're looking at each other all like crazy. And he gets off and he was like, hey, just make sure you let me know what's going on. I was like, okay. He said, are you all right? I was like, I'm kind of scared, whatever. So I get to the doctor's office. Guess what? The doctor's not there, and it is a Friday. So it's like, oh, she had to leave for an emergency. And the lady was like, what is going on? I was so nervous. I was so scared. I didn't even tell her what was going on. I was like, oh, it's just nothing. I have some itching, and things like that. I don't really know what it is, but, it's a little irritating, but not too bad. Don't y'all know, over the weekend, I dealt with the worst pain in the universe. In the universe, it was so aggravating. I cried and all this other stuff. Come Monday, I told my homegirl, I called her, like, okay, I gotta go back to the doctor. And she kept me calm, but I was in a bubble all weekend because I just knew it was that, but I just didn't want to accept it. Come Monday, I get tested. My nurse treated me like crap. She was like, ew, oh yeah, it's herpes right away. And I got on the phone with my friend and I just started boo-hoo crying and things like that. And my friend was like, B, it's okay, relax. So the lady come back and she's like, yes, you have herpes, you'll be all right. You can come back on tomorrow and talk to the doctor. I was like, do I have any information? She was like, no, here's a pamphlet and you can go online. I'm sure you received that same bull crap, and I think it was not cool that she didn't give me no comfort. She looked at me like I was nasty, it was my fault, and all these things like that. And guys, I want to tell you this. You catching herpes is not completely your fault, because number one, you had sex. Okay, I had sex with somebody I like, just like you had sex with somebody you like or love or whatever in a relationship with. So is it wrong that you had sex? No. The only thing that is crazy, and we have to understand, is that sex has risk. And I think that's something we forget, is that the fact that sex has risk, the risk is getting an STD or getting pregnant. That is the two risks that you have. And sometimes we completely forget about that when we get into having sex with people. So my whole thing is, don't completely blame yourself. Don't completely blame the other person, because number one, people don't know buku crap about herpes, okay? They only hear the stuff they hear on TV, and honestly, that stuff is so not true, because most people believe cold sores and fever blisters are not herpes, which is not true. That's type 1, and that's the reason why most people have type 2, because somebody got a type 1 and it was passed on to their genitals. So it's just basic things like that we don't know about until we catch it. And I'm sure you know everything about herpes now, just like I do, after catching it. And it's just so sucky that we find out after getting herpes. So I just want to tell you once again, that is not your fault. The only thing you can do is ask questions and get tested. And guys, as we know, they do not even test us for herpes. You have to ask for it, or your doctor's going to ask you, have you came in contact with it, or do you have any outbreaks? And sometimes they're like, no, we don't want to test you for it because you may not have it, or it may be a false negative. But it's not completely true. You can take a test, and it's called PCR. You can take, and they'll give you the DNA strand if you're, in a relationship with somebody who never had symptoms or anything like that. But their only concern is the fact that you can get false negatives, because everybody's body is different, where it can lie dormant or it haven't showed up right in their body. So I would tell anybody, go get tested anyway. I don't care that they looking at you freaking crazy. Go in there and get tested. Tell them I may have been exposed. I don't know, just like anybody don't know. Spit some facts. Say 80% of people don't even know that they have herpes. So you want me to sit here and figure it out after I have an outbreak, or do I want to come in here and try to prevent it? Okay, so do what you need to do for you. And that's the only thing you do, is asking questions and getting tested. And that's for the person that you're with too. Ask them questions and get them tested. And I'm telling you the truth. Herpes is not included in that STD testing. Babies, ladies, I'm going to tell you, when you get that pap smear, they are not testing you for herpes. When you go get that regular testing, you say everything, that does not include herpes. You have to come out and request it. Okay, come out and request those things. I did not know until after I contracted the herpes, and I don't want you to find out late. You may be
Stop.
Don't get tested any.
Stop. I want y'all to pay attention to what's going on here. She went through all of that to say it's okay. She didn't learn. Remember, we read in Jeremiah. We refused the correction of God. We were fed. Then she goes on to say, nobody can judge us. Nobody can judge us. Nobody can tell us what to do. All right, sister. But then she said she went through the worst pain she ever felt in her life. And then says, it's okay. You can have sex with how many people you want to have sex with. Give me the next article, real quick. One last article. One last article. Oh, goodness. There we go. Read that real quick.
Miami and Fort Lauderdale have the highest rate of new HIV diagnosis in the country.
We're going to leave that right there for y'all to just think about that. Miami and Fort Lauderdale have the highest rate of HIV diagnosis in the country. Not the state, the whole country. It is no joke here, y'all. I'm telling y'all, we cannot be playing games. Proverbs 20, what's up, Cap? Proverbs 22:6. I'm going to have to end it because I got
all them little cute girls and them little cute boys in your high school, they probably got HIV.
Yep. You better believe it.
Don't know it.
You better believe it. And you know what? Remember you told me? You said, I told you a situation about a sister that tried to come on to me. You say, hey, she got HIV. She got AIDS.
Statistics prove it.
Statistics prove it. She got AIDS. Proverbs 22:6.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
We got more scriptures, but we can't go on. We got minutes of part 2, I guess. 22:6.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
So today's class is good for today. But will parents keep this going in the future? It's our job as parents to make sure our kids are put in the right position to prosper. Because when you have boyfriends, girlfriends, you're not teaching them what is good and what's evil. When you allow your son to have a crush, you allow your daughter to have a crush on somebody, you're not teaching what's good and evil. School dances, you want to go to prom? You going to go see your prom? No. School dances, prom, cell phone usage, late night cell phone usage at that. Home alone, that's a big one. Leaving your kids home alone. We a family, right? Are we a family?
Yes, sir.
Sisters, are we a family?
Yes.
Dang.
Me not believe that. Me not believe that.
Come on, sisters. Sisters, are we a family? Damn.
Don't force them to believe it.
Hey, officer.
Left it home.
Damn.
You don't call the sister to come help you out.
The first reaction is the truth.
Yeah.
Always is. All right, go ahead. Go on.
You know,
We gonna harp on
brothers,
that. Go ahead.
brothers, are we a family, brothers?
Yeah.
Sheesh. So God says, train a child up by the ways of go, right? We should not be leaving our kids home alone. We have enough family in here to make sure our kids are not alone. Because when we alone, that's when Satan cometh in. When it said idleness teaches much evil. That's what I learned myself when I was alone. I learned how to do a lot of stuff when I was alone by myself. With a computer and a phone and a laptop. And lotion. Unbelieving friends. Excuse me. Unbelieving friends. Movies. Oh, this is a big one right here. This is one that I don't play with. Movies with sex scenes. A lot of us don't know about that.
Right.
Are we refraining our kids from watching evil? That's evil communication.
And now, this is no Esau's the devil. He's putting it in these kid cartoon movies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's that movie called? Baby Boss.
Oh, yeah, Baby Boss.
Baby Boss.
Yeah.
It got a few scenes in there.
Yeah, in the beginning, right?
In the movie period.
Yeah, especially
got
at the
some
beginning.
scenes in there.
Hey, Cap, my wife was explaining to me, like, she watched Netflix. There's nothing on TV right now that is not a gay scene. Even the cartoons, gay, homosexuality, sex, and it's now.
Hey, I already know where you're going with this one, Zadok. And I've even noticed watching anime, they always make the characters borderline effeminate, ambiguous. That's what it is.
Ambiguous.
That's the word where you can't really tell if it's a boy or a girl.
That's right.
And they always make the girls very revealing and what's the word? Promiscuous. Like when promiscuous. Very promiscuous.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The scenes are if you watch pornographic, you have to try to find that stuff. You have to search for it. Mm-hmm. But now on these TV shows, it is full blown. You've seen it like it's full porn on TV.
Yeah. I train my kid. Hey, when you see us, close your eyes. That's why I don't even like watching movies and all that stuff. You can't even watch movies today. You can't even watch movies. Can't watch cartoons. Hell, even the commercials.
That's why you can't allow the TV to raise your children.
Absolutely. That's why it takes effort from the parents. It takes effort. These kids cannot raise themselves. Another one, music about sex. Music about fornication. About men sleeping with as many women. About women dropping it like it's hot.
The radio is the devil.
It's the devil, yo.
Right now. You riding in your car, you think it's just some harmless old school R&B from the 90s, but they got all kind of, what's it called, innuendos right. About like, you remind me of my Jeep. Mm-hmm. I want to ride it. We know it's a car, but he said, I want to ride it. Your kids ain't stupid. They sit in the back seat. They hear that enough time. That's why it's called programming. That's why they play the songs over and over and over again. It could be a terrible song, but they play it over and over again until it starts sounding all right to you.
It's a nice beat.
It's a nice beat. And you play it in the back thinking kids ain't paying attention. They catching on to that stuff.
Oh, you better believe it.
Hey, I was going to say, Cap, you know when you realize that song they shouldn't be listening to it? Listen to it, because when they come and they say certain notes from the song, you be like, where the hell you hear that from?
Right.
Because when they say it, it comes out in a graphic way, like, damn, how my child knew that.
That's a lot of times our kids come to us and they know about sex and drugs and all this stuff. We don't understand that it's our fault. We can't blame them for that. It's our fault. It's us. Our fault. All right? One last scripture. Matthew 6:33. So I pray my young brothers and young sisters learn something, glean from this thing. Parents, continue this class. Continue this when you get home with your kids. Continue this throughout the week.
I'll tell you one thing that your parents can't do. Don't be afraid to talk to them about it.
You cannot be afraid.
A lot of parents will be afraid to talk to them. If I say something about it, I'm going to expose them to it. Your kids already know about it.
They already heard it. They
playing you. They acted all innocent. They go to school. They got homeboys. They got cell phones with all kind of pictures in it.
You better believe
they
it.
playing you like they innocent.
Yep.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.